Hi, this is Taneda. We go climb Mount Si with my friend. Mount Si, for those of you who don't live in the state of Washington, it's one of the bigger trails in the area. I've heard it described as accessible for the beginner but challenging for the experienced hiker. About 4 hours to climb up and climb back down, not counting rest time. I was thinking about how there's so many analogies in climbing a trail like this and being in pursuit of success or completing big objectives. It's easier to climb with a friend than alone. There are tools like climbing sticks. I see a lot of people using those. I didn't use it. It can make the trip easier. There are shortcuts, can sometimes allow getting there faster, but it can be kind of perilous and dangerous. There's a risk of injury. There's a beautiful view. I'll flip the camera around. You can kind of see. There's always the temptation on the way up to rest excessively and make the climb a lot more difficult than it is. We lose momentum. Sometimes we got momentum and we get, I've done enough, let's rest for a while. And then I lose momentum and it makes the task at hand seem so daunting. And then there's also overtaxing. If we don't pace ourselves, sometimes we overexert ourselves and push ourselves beyond our limit, and maybe that keeps us from getting to our goal. Once we reach the top, there's the temptation to, instead of resting and really taking in the sights and stopping and smelling the roses, and not take a moment to really celebrate our wins. There are all kinds of people along on the climb, and sometimes we can help each other even if they're straight. That makes the whole experience more pleasant. There's a lot of analogy to that in business and in life in general. It doesn't really cost us to help other people. In fact, it gives us extra energy. Unexpected. Oh, look at this. It's like a little squirrel or chipmunk or something. Hello, cute little thing. This being a blog about the IT industry, you'd expect something other than climb up a mountain trail and drawing analogies off of that, but I'd love to start this blog off in a unique way. Feel free to comment below with your thoughts, what kind of analogies to life and business and pursuit of success you see. As you can see, there's the city of North Bend below, and pretty much right at the top amongst these rocks. Now there is another part up there called the Haystack, which is a crazy hill that rock climbers go on. Basically, it's so steep that you could climb with your bare hands, but they warn you to use safety gear. I looked up the safety rating for that type of hill, and it said, and I kid you not, they rate this as falls are not always fatal. That's very reassuring. I was thinking about more analogies. You know, this trail does not have a clearly defined end. It loops around and branches off, and I set out with the intention of climbing this trail to the top. The lesson is sometimes when we reach our destination, exact point of completion is not always clearly marked, and we have to make a decision at some point. You know what? We've arrived. Time to celebrate and not overanalyze what exactly is the end of the trail. Another lesson is I'm looking at myself in this selfie video. I don't look all that sharp like when I take the time to put on a suit and make sure that everything looks good. Sometimes in our climb in life, we have to get down and dirty in the trenches and get things done, and we don't have time to always look ready for the best looking shot. And we sometimes have to get over ourselves and really focus on what we're trying to accomplish, not be so caught up in are we always looking at our absolute best at every single moment, because sometimes we don't have the time to do all that, and sometimes being down in the trenches and finishing the task at hand is the overriding importance, and we have to get over ourselves and our vanities and actually get something done. And of course, when the time calls for it, nice to present ourselves in our best possible light as well. So there's a time and place for everything. That's another lesson. Up here for a while now, resting and relaxing and taking in the sights. There comes a moment where it's the right time to start heading back down. It's the same thing that happens when we celebrate. We might go on vacation. Maybe we take a week or two off to Vegas or the tropical island somewhere, and maybe we're coming off of a 6-month project or a year, and we really thoroughly relax and celebrate. There comes a point where we've done our celebrating and momentum of the celebration kind of starts to wear off, and a lot of people have described for me how when they retire, they're looking forward to retiring, but after a few months they start to feel restless and they take on a new project, because retirement, the first few months, maybe it's all great. It's like a big extended summer vacation, but there's only so much of vacation or idleness we can take before we're ready to get going and go for our next. It's an ongoing process. We never have to fear being on vacation for long, because we will get tired of it in quick order, and in proportion to the time we took to accomplish what we did, very often the amount of time we take for time off is not necessarily that large. We should give ourselves permission to really celebrate all out when we've accomplished something big. Rest assured that we're going to feel motivated to move on to our next goals soon enough.